Hello students, welcome to science online class. 7th standard students, in science we are learning reproduction and modifications in plants. Last week we learned the flowering plants have root, stem and leaves. These root, stem and leaves are the vegetative organs. Flowers, fruits and seeds are the reproductive organs in plants. So we are going to know about how a flower changes itself into a fruit. Then we learned reproduction in plants. What is reproduction? The process by which plants and animals produce young ones and increase their number is known as reproduction. So what is reproduction? Reproduction is the process by which plants and animals produce their young ones and increase their number. There are two methods of reproduction: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. When plants reproduced with the seeds are known as sexual reproduction. When plants reproduced without seeds are known as asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction takes place in two processes. One is pollination, another one is fertilization. So these two processes involved in sexual reproduction. So flowers are the important reproductive organ in plants. These flowers have male and female parts of the reproduction. There are four parts in the flowers: sepal, petal, stamen, pistil. Sepal, petal, stamen, pistil. Sepal is the green part of the flower which protects the flower when it is bud. Petals are the brightly colored parts of the flowers. These petals attracts the insects for pollination. Then stamen is the male reproductive part of the flower. Pistil is the female reproductive part of flower. So we are going to see stamen and pistil and their importance. Stamen and pistil are the reproductive parts of the flowers. Already we learned types of flowers: bisexual flowers, unisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers contains stamen and pistil in a same flower. Unisexual flowers, any one of the whole is absent. In hibiscus, we can observe a long tube on which many stamens are arranged. But in lily, only 6 stalked structures are present. So these stamens are arranged in the flowers is called androecium. So androecium contains stamens. So what is androecium? Male reproductive part of the flower. So this stamen produce pollen grains. Inside the stamens there is the pollen sac. These pollen sacs produce the pollen grains. Then two parts of the stamen are filament and anther. A stalk called filament and a lobe called anther. So each stamen consists of two parts. They are stalk and a lobe, that is known as filament and a anther. The next part is gynosium. Gynosium is the female reproductive part. Inner to the androsium, we can find a female reproductive part, that is gynosium. In this gynosium, there are three parts are there: ovary, style, stigma. There are three parts in the gynosium: ovary, style, and stigma. The swollen bottom part is the ovary. Inside the ovary only the seeds are produced. On top of the ovary there is a slender tube-like structure is there, that is style. The topmost sticky tip of the style is stigma. So the pollen grains are received by the stigma during the pollination. So during pollination, the pollen grains from the anther transferred to the gynosium, the stigma of the gynosium. Already we have learnt types of flowers: bisexual flowers and unisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers contains both stamen and pistil in the same plant. But unisexual flowers, female flowers and male flowers contain its reproductive part alone. In female cucumber flower, gynosium is present. There is no androsium. But in male cucumber flower, androsium is present but gynosium is absent. The next we are going to learn about pollination. Reproduction takes place in two processes. One is pollination, another one is fertilization. First, we are going to see about pollination. So what is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. So the process by which pollen grains reach the stigma of the flower. There are two ways of pollination: artificial pollination and natural pollination. If we transferred the pollen grains artificially from one flower to another flower, means that is artificial pollination. But mostly in flowers, pollination takes place by nature. Some of the natural agents are helps for pollination in the flowers. So pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower. So from androsium to the gynosium, pollen grains are transferred. So this transformation of the pollen grains from one flower to another flower is known as pollination. So pollination are of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination. Self means within the plant or within the flowers. Self-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of the same plant. So self-pollination takes place in the same plant. So bisexual flowers. In bisexual flowers only self-pollination takes place. Cross-pollination. Pollens from the anther of one plant is transferred to the stigma of a different plants. Here, two different plants are involved. So the pollen grains from the one plant transferred to the stigma of the flowers in the other plant. So in two different plants, cross pollination takes place. Some agents are helps in pollination. Beans and tomatoes are commonly self-pollinate. So for example, tomato self-pollinate, they need the help of the insects to create vibrations within the flowers. So in some insects, then wind, water, animals, these are called as pollinators. So these are the agents help in pollination are called pollinators. Grass like flowers, they have powdered like pollen grains. These pollen grains carried by wind to other flowers. Then through water, pollen grains are transferred from one plant to another plant. Then insects, butterflies, bees, like insects and birds carry the pollen grains from one flower to another flower. And also some animals like bear carry the pollen grains from one plant to another plant. Next, we are going to see the differences between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of the same plant. So self-pollination takes place in the bisexual flowers in the same plant. But cross-pollination, in cross-pollination, pollen from the anther of one plant is transferred to the stigma of a different plants. So cross-pollination takes place in two different plants. So anther of one plant is transferred to the stigma of the another different plant. In self-pollination, plants do not need to produce pollen grains in a large quantity. But in cross-pollination, plants need to produce pollen grains in a large quantity to increase the chance of pollination. So in self-pollination, the self-pollinated flowers do not depend on agents like insects, birds, animals for pollination. So there is no wastage of pollen grains. So self-pollinated plants do not need to produce pollen grains in a large quantity. But in cross-pollination, flowers depend on agents like insects, birds and wind. So there is a chance of wastage of pollen grains. So these cross-pollinated plants need to produce pollen grains in a large quantity. Self-pollination, it does not produce changes in the characteristics of new plants. Cross-pollination does introduce variations in characteristics of new plants. Self-pollination produce changes in the characteristics in the new plants because in self-pollination only one kind of plant is involved. So there is no chance of producing new characters in new plants. But in cross-pollination does introduce variations in characteristics because in cross-pollination two different plants are involved. So different characteristics from different plants introduced in new plants. So dear children, I hope you all understood about the pollination and the types of pollination, then differences between the self-pollination and the cross-pollination. We will meet in the next video later.